Game started.
Johnny Sachs from Panama. Cool. Well, let's try Sicilian. How about? Okay, the immediate d4. Let's see, are we going to get a Smith-Morra gambit? Yes, we do. Okay, I will take the gambit for the sake of the video. I've said before I don't, I don't normally play this way. But you can play this way. I'm going to put up a wall of pawns to try and keep his pieces out and develop my knights to natural squares. I want to play knight to f6. And here's this point. Every time you play knight f6, you have to worry about this move, d4 to d5. It's a kind of fork between the knight and this pawn here, and it's very disruptive. And right now this pawn is pinned by the rook, so the move in this position is e5, stopping the pawn push from e4 to e5. I think I said d4, d5, but obviously I meant e4, e5. And there's ways for white to win back his pawn in this situation. I think like maybe if he trades off this knight, then this pawn is hanging, for example, because of the pin here. But it's okay to give back a pawn. You're a pawn up. And I think he's letting me get away with something. I'm not quite sure what yet. But I never felt compelled to play the move a6, and I probably should have played that sooner. There's probably some point where I really should have played that. Oh, he's stopping me from playing interesting. He's stopping me from playing b5 to hit the bishop. I'm going to move my queen to a different square. I'm not sure where it goes, so let me think about this. I want to unpin this pawn. Or maybe just develop the bishop is a way to unpin that pawn. And then make sure I get rid of that guy. Okay. So where does the knight go? I was thinking it could just go back and try and reroute, but maybe it's possible to play it to a4 as well. a5. Knight a5 to c4. And let's get a rook over here. Okay, he's going to trap my knight. Yeah, that knight has no squares. Let's see. So if I take a rook, does that help? Probably not. So knight here, he's just going to take with the bishop. So let's grab another pawn here. Yeah, I was wondering about that. So he takes my rook and threatens my queen. I can take his rook and threaten his queen. So bishop takes rook, and the material's still even. Rook takes queen, bishop takes queen. Material's still even. Rook takes rook check, king takes rook. And then after that, he grabs the knight. My bishop is here, not hitting anything. So I'll have a bishop, and a couple of pawns in exchange for yeah, so I guess I would rather keep the material on. I'm going to play for compensation of some kind. Well, that's okay, he just went there. I would rather play for compensation with the queens on, is I guess what I was saying. Meant to say. So I've got 3 pawns for the piece, because I had 1 pawn to start with and I just won 2 more. I thought he was going to grab the knight immediately rather than throw in that rook move. But maybe he needed to move the rook because his rook was under attack with the bishop. So maybe that was all somewhat forced. Okay, so I think it's best. Let's see, if I retreat the bishop, he can play queen to c7, takes, and I have a rook on c7 skewering my two bishops, which would be pretty annoying. If I play b5 here, it supports the bishop, but it locks it in over here, and it's not necessarily a good square for that bishop. So what do I want to do? Maybe put this bishop on a good square. More of this bishop. I need to, find some good squares for my pieces. Okay, how about just back here? I guess that's a good square for the bishop. So he's still going for this, it's a fork now, it's not a skewer, so it will pick up a pawn. Is there a way for me to attack something here? Yeah, his bishop is hanging. So I take his bishop. He takes my bishop. I could attack his queen first, then he takes my queen. If I attack his queen and he takes the pawn here or here, then I'll grab his bishop. So he needs to retreat and defend his bishop or take my queen. Either way, I've activated my pieces a bit. Got both bishops out. And I've got 2 pawns over here, and he's got a knight. I have 3 pawns in total for the knight, but 2 of them are these passed pawns on the queen side. Could be very dangerous in the endgame, so I'm still playing on here. Let's see. If I could restrict his pieces. I was wondering if pushing the move f5 to f4 is worth anything. He wants to get the light squared bishop off. Yeah, let's go for more of a pure endgame. So bishop takes, rook takes, check.
Check.
Pawn takes. So I've got just a bishop against a bishop and a knight, and I've got 2 extra pawns, 3 extra pawns. But these pawns are now doubled, so maybe that was his point, doubling those pawns. So let's make some room for my king. Now my king can come in here and attack attack this pawn, perhaps. Let's see, he's got knight to this square.
Check.
Yeah, that's a bit annoying. Should have played the move a6 first. Not a6, h6. I should have played that first. So where is the knight going from there? I don't know. So this is the square I wanted to get to, because I want to play I want to play e4 and king to e5 and go after this light squared pawn, which he's going to have trouble defending. Maybe I need to put my bishop on this diagonal first. Okay, he's going after my pawns. Oh, I could have just taken his knight. Oh, what a silly, silly move. Okay. If he wants to take my bishop, actually, I'm going to let him do that, because that undoubles my pawns, and now these guys might be very strong. So this is a pure endgame with extra pawns against a bishop. Now I'll have 4 extra pawns now. This is actually a winning endgame for black. I believe that to be the case anyway. He really can't defend this.
Check.
And I don't want to take en passant. I want to leave this structure fixed. I'm going to put my pawns on light squares, where he can never attack them. And I have a protected passed pawn here. Okay, and then I can just start moving these pawns forward. His king has to be tied down, stopping this pawn from advancing. His bishop needs to be on this diagonal to stop this pawn from advancing, and then I can just push these queenside pawns. is a fairly straightforward win. Gonna just push everything forward. Maybe I should go ahead and throw in the move. Oh, he encourages me to play that. I wanted to play the move h4 anyway to stop him from playing h5. That was the one idea he might have had there. Now he really has no moves at all. And this pawn here blocks out his bishop, so he can't stop one of these pawns from queening. And his king can't stop both the passers. I've got a passer over here and a passer over here that are too far apart for his king to stop. So I'm just going to push the e-pawn and then the a-pawn alternately. And I'm going to leave these two pawns here, the b-pawn and the d-pawn, keep his bishop locked out. If you look at all the places the bishop can go to, this is kind of a funny position, but the bishop is completely trapped on this side of the board. And so I can just sit with my king here with these two pawns here, and I can just alternately push the e-pawn and the a-pawn, and he can't stop both of them. So I don't even need my king to support the advance of the pawns. My king is doing its job, but these two pawns are just keeping the bishop locked out. That's what I mean. You push one, and if he goes that way, you push the other one. And if he does nothing, you push them both. Pretty simple win. So let's check.
Check.
And let's see, we can put the king to this square. And now, no matter what the bishop does, I can checkmate on the light squares. Check here and mate there. So if he takes the pawn, for example, I'm not going to bother to take back. I'm just going to checkmate.
White resigns.
Okay, well, I thought that was kind of interesting. You lose the piece, but win the game. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll do a postmortem as usual, and see you later. Bye.